Some of the most beautiful pieces of art can only be found in nature. For centuries, we've used animals and animal-inspired decorations to adorn our homes. But some of the most beautiful, but most overlooked of these decorations are pinned insects. Insect pinning is a relatively simple process that requires only a few materials and skills to get started. But it has infinite potential to create eye-catching pieces that are sure to start conversations. Over several years, I myself have had to study and admire these insects on my way to become an entomologist, and in this process, I've even pinned some insects of my own. To get started, you only need 3 simple materials: a spreading block, some enamel pins, and tweezers. Once you have these materials, you're ready to begin the pinning process, which consists of only 3 major steps: relaxing, pinning, and display. Relaxing is the process of rehydrating your dried insect so that it's more maneuverable during the pinning phase. To begin this, you can use one of 3 methods. The paper towel method is the easiest and most widely used. For this, you take a container and you line it with damp but not dripping paper towels. After you have that, you place the insects that you're wanting to rehydrate inside and then top them with more paper towels and seal the lid. This usually takes about 3 to 5 days, but works with all insect types. The second method, which is a bit faster, is the steaming method, where you take a container of hot water and something to separate the water from the insect, usually like a foam plank or something like that. Then you place the insect on the plank and seal the lid so that it absorbs the steam. This process takes about 1 to 2 days, but it's a bit more intensive because you have to replace the hot water as it cools down. The third, fastest, but most intense method is direct hydration, which requires you to place your dried insect directly in hot water so that it rehydrates. For all these processes, you check that your insect is done by moving an antenna or some kind of leg piece. Once it's at your desired level of pliability, you can set down your first pin. The first pin is extremely important because it's what you use to manipulate the insect during the pinning and display periods. The first pin is usually placed to the right and a bit down from the thorax, which is a section of the insect that has the legs attached. Once you have this first pin, you can put it into your pinning block and start maneuvering the limbs. To maneuver the limbs, you take tweezers and you move the limb into your desired position. Once you have it there, you hold it down with other pins around it so that it will dry in that position that you want it. Once you have all the limbs pinned down, you leave it to dry for about 1 to 2 days or until you believe it's ready. And then you're ready to move on to your display process. To display your pinned insects, we usually use shadow boxes, which are deep glass top boxes that have some kind of felt backing that you can stick the insect into. Once you have your shadow box prepared, the next question is whether you're displaying for specimen purposes or for artwork purposes. If you're displaying a specimen, it usually traditionally comes with 3 different information cards that you attach to the bottom of the pin. These include information pieces such as the location that it was caught, the type of insect, the family of insect, and the date that it was caught. If you're displaying for artwork purposes, then you don't need to worry about these and you can pin it directly into the box. For some art pieces, you can even skip that first pin entirely and just position the insect on the block and move its limbs and dry it, and then attach it to a glue-tipped pin on the bottom so that it doesn't pierce the outer shell. Once you've followed these steps, you have created your first piece of insect artwork. By practicing and learning how to relax, pin, and display your insects, you too can create your own insect masterpieces. So get pinning.